The formidable elder Fuang stood resolute, like a mountain guarding those he cherished, daring to challenge the teachers and students of Manhwa alone. When Fuang Kim Duong made his entrance, the arena erupted with whispers. The students of Manhwa murmured in disbelief, unable to comprehend that it was indeed Fuang Kim Duong, who had the audacity to set foot in their domain. Fuang Kim Duong fixed his gaze upon Lu Vin Van, his tone calm yet laced with challenge. So, Lu Vin Van, are you brave enough to duel? Lu Vin Van's expression darkened instantly. At that moment, a fourth-rank instructor from Dai Hak Island spoke up, his demeanor dripping with arrogance. Fuang Kim Duong, this is not Namvu. You've come here looking for trouble. Do you even understand the rules? Fuang Kim Duong frowned, his eyes sharp as daggers. It is precisely because I respect the rules that I dare issue a challenge. Otherwise, I would have acted long ago. Instructor, you are a fourth rank. Yes? In 3 days, I shall ascend to fourth rank myself. At that time, you can come and challenge me. The instructor was left speechless with fury. All those present today, from students to instructors, could step forward to fight if they felt discontent. Lu Fuang Nhu observed Fuang Kim Duong in silence, thinking to herself how unexpected it was that this young man had been absent for some time, only to break through to fourth rank. So he is currently at the peak of third rank. She blinked, glancing at the students of Manhwa in the arena, sighing in exasperation. If the third-rank students truly engaged in a brawl today, it would be a complete loss of face for Manhwa. The atmosphere grew tense. The auditorium fell into a hushed silence, no one daring to utter a word. I knew it. You all only dared to bully the newcomers. Lu Vin Van countered, his face a mask of arrogance. Fuang Kim Duong, don't speak so harshly, this is a fair challenge. Fuang Bin is the one who wrote it down himself. Fuang Kim Duong's gaze was piercing, aimed straight at his adversaries. All of you, the so-called top of your first rank, dare to challenge someone who has just broken into first rank. Is this what you call fair? His smile was one of provocation. If that's the case, I am now third rank. Is there truly no one of the same level willing to fight me? You brat, do you really think there's no one in Manhwa? The fourth-rank instructor retorted angrily, his voice laden with challenge. Then let's see you in battle. The blood surged within Fuang Kim Duong, and he thumped his chest, displaying an imposing aura. Do you really think I wouldn't dare to kill you, student of Manhwa? Today, I, Fuang Kim Duong, challenge all third-rank students of Manhwa. Anyone is welcome to step forward. Who could have predicted that he would seize the spotlight of the main character in the blink of an eye? Fuang Kim Duong strode into the Manhwa auditorium, audaciously taunting the teachers and students, inciting the fourth-rank instructor to the brink of madness. Just as he was about to speak, Lu Fuang Nhu shot him a glance. Silence. Then she coldly continued, Fuang Kim Duong, have you forgotten that it was you who swept away the third rank? The ones who have been defeated are the vice presidents of the Martial Arts Association. Fury surged within him, for it was Fuang Bin. To provoke him today is not merely to see a few lives lost. Can you bear the weight of this responsibility? Following Lu Fuang Nhu's command, the lecturer fell silent. Fuang Kim Duong cast a piercing glance at Fuang Bin. This matter is not your concern. If you feel unsafe, you may refuse the duel. Do not fear retribution. Once I reach level 4. If they come at me like this again, I will defeat all level 4 students of Manhwa. When I ascend to level 5, I shall not hesitate to obliterate every level 5 student of Manhwa. Tiu Dean couldn't restrain himself, exclaiming, this boasting truly exceeds all bounds of imagination. Enough already. Fuang Kim Duong. Lu Fuang Nhu rose to her feet. Fuang Bin is my student, you have no authority to interfere. This competition is merely a farce for those who have lost their spirit. The true elites of Manhwa would never stoop to such base acts. Do not underestimate Manhwa. Lu Fuang Nhu crossed her arms, her gaze icy as it bore into Fuang Kim Duong. Even if you claim to be the champion, pause for a moment. Everything that unfolds today is a consequence of your actions. For Fuang Bin's sake, you cannot keep shielding him. Do not embroil him further in trouble. Fuang Kim Duong sighed heavily. Lu Vin Van, do not think that just because I've reached level 4, I am powerless against you. I have already defeated your younger brother. If you seek vengeance, come to me. If you dare to trouble Nam Fuang Din again, I still remember your father is a 4th rank, correct? Lu Vin Van's face flushed crimson with rage. You think you can challenge my father? If it weren't for Fuang Kim Duong's sudden interruption, and if not for Tun Su's protection, your father would have acted against me long ago. Fuang Kim Duong gave him no chance to retort, continuing, Tun Su values me. The reason is simple, compared to you, my worth, Vong Kim Duong is far greater, so accept it. Lu Vin Van's face darkened with frustration, but he ultimately found himself unable to argue back. At that moment, Chu Dean shouted in anger. Isn't he from another school? Who allowed him to enter here? That would be me. Tan Fuang Khin. She joyfully sprang forth from behind Vong Kim Duong. I just met him at the bus station, so I invited him in for a little chat. Little did I expect to witness such an entertaining drama. Still, this guy speaks quite reasonably, he has survived. If you refuse to accept this, then challenge me. There's no need for all this chatter. Ultimately, you must concede. I cannot defeat him. Vong Kim Duong fell silent. For the next 3 days, I shall be in Ma Du. Anyone seeking revenge is free to challenge me, there's no need to wait. If you're not afraid of death, then come. With that, he and Tan Fuang Khin exited the hall. Fuang Bin could only smile helplessly. Old Vong, you've stolen all my glory this time. I am the protagonist of this tale. Are martial artists truly those who are indifferent to existence? Following his first life and death battle, Fuang Bin found everything around him shrouded in uncertainty. As Vong Kim Duong departed, the competition concluded dramatically. The audience gradually dispersed, with many former students still simmering with anger at the arrogant actions of the young man. Vong Kim Duong. Meanwhile, Fuang Bin stood alone in the arena, lost in contemplation of the events that had just unfolded. Today, I have slain 2 peak-level martial artists. Surely, no one will dare to trouble me again in the days to come. At that moment, Lu Fuangnu's voice rang out unexpectedly. You performed excellently today. Your strategy was quite impressive. Beside them, Duong Tiu Man curiously asked Fuang Bin. Just now, you depleted your vital energy completely. How did you recover so quickly? I didn't see you take any elixirs. Fuang Bin's sharp gaze fixed upon Duong Tiu Man. Did your teacher not teach you that one should never invade another's secrets? Your family is well off. Both your parents are martial artists. Did they not impart this lesson to you? Duong Tiu Man's cheeks flushed crimson at the reprimand. Intruding upon others' secrets can lead to deep-seated enmity. Understand? From now on, do not ask again. Duong Tiu Man felt the weight of mockery but dared not retort. True Tuyat, unyielding as ever, interjected. He has become a true killer now. After exchanging farewells with Lu Fuang Nhu, Fuang Bin departed. Duong Tiu Man, still flushed, murmured under his breath, he's truly fierce. As he watched Fuang Bin's retreating figure, Lu Fuang Nhu whispered. That was his first time taking a life. He must not feel good about it. Let him digest that on his own. Upon exiting the hall, Fuang Bin immediately called out to Vong Kim Duong. Brother Vong, where are you? I'm at your hotel. What? Fuang Bin was taken aback. That hotel is the territory of Ma Vu. Are you really waiting for them to challenge you? Vong Kim Duong narrowed his eyes. Disdain dripping from his voice. Indeed, but no one dares to come. Fuang Bin sought out a nearby hotel and found Vong Kim Duong awaiting him. Vong Kim Duong regarded Fuang Bin, saying, in truth, I have known about your challenge for quite some time. But had I appeared from the start, you might not have needed to take action. I wanted you to fight those 2 matches. To understand that mere submission is not the path of a true martial artist. Fuang Bin bowed his head in contemplation, suddenly lifting it after a moment. This battle was my own decision, no one forced me. I accepted the challenge, partly out of defiance, partly to grasp the essence of what it means to be a martial artist. Vong Kim Duong chuckled softly. So now, what do you believe a martial artist is? Fuang Bin lowered his gaze. A distant look in his eyes as he replied. A martial artist is a group of individuals indifferent to life and death. Vong Kim Duong and Tan Fuang Khin were momentarily taken aback. Suddenly, Vong Kim Duong raised his hand and laughed heartily. Nonsense. Who isn't afraid of death? Tan Fuang Khin stated. Even the master fears death. Just like those who challenged you today. They were blocked by Vong Kim Duong on their path to strength, which bred resentment and unwillingness. But that doesn't mean they don't wish to live. In my view, they might not even want to kill you. To put it bluntly, they are just a pitiful bunch unable to accept their own failures. Vong Kim Duong quickly pushed Tan Fuang Khin aside. He suddenly realized he might have spoken out of turn and hurried to reassure Fuang Bin. You need not overthink it. Martial artists have their own rules. They die without grievance, nor do they die in vain. In essence, you are correct, life and death are commonplace in the world of martial arts. Becoming accustomed to these matters is not a bad thing. He glanced at Tan Fuang Khin, who appeared unfazed. Fuang Bin pondered. Is it inherent to martial artists to speak lightly of life and death? To seek strength, To strive for survival, without growing stronger, one cannot hope to live. Yet, he was different from them. Just then, Vong Kim Duong interrupted Fuang Bin's thoughts. Smile and relax, just focus on your training, and you'll get used to it, he said. Alright, I understand, replied Fuang Bin with a faint smile. But the way you two comfort me is truly strange. Indeed. Brother Vong, you've come to Ma Du with a mission, haven't you? Tell me about it. No matter what, his family must survive. At this moment, guided by Vong Kim Duong and Tan Fuang Khin, Fuang Bin began to shake off the haze of uncertainty. His curiosity was piqued. Why have you both appeared in Ma Du together? Tan Fuang Khin replied. They must undertake a significant mission in the underground palace and cannot take you along. As she spoke, Vong Kim Duong immediately cut her off, shaking his head at Fuang Bin. You shouldn't pry into this. You are not yet capable of participating. Fuang Bin, understanding the gravity of the situation, refrained from questioning further. The underground palace is likely something I cannot partake in at this moment. Asking too many questions is futile. As my strength grows, I will naturally learn. That afternoon, Fuang Bin returned to Duong Tan. As he gazed upon the familiar scenery, a wave of comfort washed over him. Was this his first return home since enrolling at Mavu? Fuang Bin. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out from behind. It was Fuang Vin. Fuang Bin's eyes welled with tears. I hadn't mentioned I would return today. Yet this little one came to greet me. Truly, what a sibling. At that moment, 3 little girls rushed over. Sister, today you must teach them a lesson. Those ruffians in the outskirts dared to invade the territory of the Bin Association. You even sought out boys for help? It's not wise to involve them. If you must find someone, at least choose someone stronger. This one is far too scrawny. Fuang Vin felt a prickling discomfort. He hastily turned around, signaling for them to remain silent. In that instant, Fuang Bin realized that this girl was not waiting for him. She was forming her own little gang. He felt an unbearable frustration. Sister Yuan Ping, what has happened in these 2 months I've been away? Fuang Vin was sweating profusely. If I said this is just a misunderstanding, would you believe me? Let's go home and sort this out first. Without hesitation, Fuang Bin seized Fuang Vin's cheek and dragged her along. As they returned, Fuang Bin was furiously berating Fuang Vin when their mother unexpectedly appeared. Reluctantly sighing, the young girl truly needed a serious lesson. At her tender age, she already yearned to sell goods in the market and created such a ruckus daily, vying for space that even the teachers at school had heard of her antics. Suddenly, a foreboding intuition surged within Fuang Bin. Fuang Vin feigned innocence. Isn't it just selling a few of your things? You don't even use them, they're just taking up space. In a flash, Fuang Bin grasped Fuang Vin's head tightly. Her voice urgent. What on earth have you sold of mine? Their mother merely chuckled awkwardly. Aside from the 2 spare outfits, there's nothing else. Fuang Bin returned to her room, instantly taken aback by the scene before her. This place was cleaner than the author's wallet. In the following days, Fuang Bin savored the moments of relaxation with her family. Watching them revel in joy, Fuang Bin couldn't help but reminisce about the life and death struggle they had just endured. Thankfully, she had survived. Who would have thought the system could be wielded in such a manner? The young man had utilized the system to trade potions, earning money as easily as flipping a hand, just as Fuang Bin bid farewell to her family. Stepping onto the train back to the City of Magic. Upon returning to Mavu, Fuang Bin gazed at the displayed asset value on the system, contemplating the considerable amount she had recently spent. It was time to procure some orders for sale. Thus, upon arriving at the logistics department of Mavu, the silver-haired elderly man Hu Dao welcomed Fuang Bin. Fuang Bin, you're back again, my fellow student. Those shoes I mentioned last time? They're fantastic, only costing 40 credits. You've really struck gold, just from the 4 level 1 blood pills they provided you. You've already recouped your investment. Fuang Bin felt a twinge of surprise, realizing even the teachers here were aware of this. Regarding the competition, Fuang Bin stated, this time, I want to exchange for some ordinary blood pills. Alright, would 3 be enough? Give me 67? The elderly man furrowed his brow at Fuang Tin, then pointed at Fuang Bin and said, you plan to trade that many to sell them outside for profit, don't you? The school doesn't explicitly forbid it, but selling potions is a monopoly. If you get caught selling in bulk, it'll be the end for you. Fuang Bin smirked, pulling out 5 certificates. So, it means small-scale selling isn't a problem. The elderly man sighed in resignation. 67 ordinary blood pills, deducting 201 credits. You're left with just 1 credit. Right now, A single vial of ordinary blood pills won't suffice for your cultivation. The old man frowned. Have you thought this through? Fuang Bin calmly placed a martial arts book on the table. I have considered it thoroughly. Just deduct it. The beep of the system rang out, and the asset value increased by 670,000. Upon returning to the dormitory, Fuang Bin immediately called Li Thuo-tak to discuss selling the order through the communication device. He gestured to manager Li. Right now, I have 70 pills. Can I sell them? Li Thuo-tak was astonished. 70 pills? Am I hearing this correctly? The quantity you have, Mr. Fuang, is indeed enormous. Selling them will not be straightforward. Our strength is still inadequate. If we are detected by the regulatory agency, it would lead to significant trouble. Large companies can covertly sell without a hitch. But for a martial artist like you, selling such a large quantity of pills would easily attract attention, far too dangerous. Fuang Bin frowned. I understand. Then I will find another way. Later, Fuang Bin approached Fuck Thuong Din. Do you want to sell all these pills? And they are of grade 1 as well. Fuck Thuong Din, with a look of disbelief, stared at the table full of pills, murmuring, preserving the essence of vitality. To nurture the next generation requires pills. The demand for this order is immense in every family. However, when buying from individuals, everyone only seeks cheap prices, often around 60 to 70% of the original price. Fuang Bin sighed in disappointment. That's far too little. I not only have 70 ordinary blood pills but also 11 grade 1 ones. The market price reaches 10.3 million. Fuang Bin pondered. These blood pills currently grant me a value of 7.1 million. I must sell them for above 7.1 million to make a profit. Fuang Bin gazed at Fuck Thuong Din with eyes full of hope. Fuck Thuong Din sighed in resignation. Alright, I will ask if my old man is interested. This blood pill is never in excess. Fuang Bin, with an enchanting expression, replied, this is brand new stock. Don't let your father push the price too low. Fine, fine, my father says 9 million. What do you think? Fuang Bin excitedly raised a finger. 9 million, almost a 10% reduction. More than I anticipated. With that, he quickly gave a thumbs up. No problem at all. Success. The national exchange competition is approaching. I will open a special training class for the dance model. Being class president not only grants me credits but also allows others to do the work. How could I possibly miss out on such a good opportunity at that moment? Inside the practice building, a cacophony of voices erupted. The first-year students of the Weapon Academy were buzzing with chatter. Isn't today supposed to be a free period? Why are we suddenly gathered? Just then, the instructors entered the room. All the students hurriedly formed a neat line. Duong Tang spoke up. Today, I have called everyone together to announce the establishment of a special training class. This special class will be taught by 5 instructors, including myself, Lu Fuang Nuoc, Ladik Suyen, Tu Keen Chow, and Chu Thach Bin. Additionally, the headmaster will not periodically come to teach everyone. Instantly, the whole school buzzed with excitement. How could a master come to teach us? It's truly marvelous. Not everyone has the chance to be guided by a master. Before graduation, there is hope to break through the 3 schools. At this moment, Fuck Thuong Din raised his hand, inquiring with curiosity, why has the school suddenly opened a special training class? Even bothering the headmaster? Duong Fong replied loudly. At the end of this year, major martial arts schools nationwide will host an exchange competition for new students. This competition bears the honorable responsibility for our school. It is a match we must win. The students began to murmur excitedly. A national competition? Don't we have to face the Capital Martial Arts University? They are at the top of the martial arts scene. How can we possibly win? Duong Tang wore a serious expression, declaring resolutely, are you already afraid as you step into the realm of dancers? Look around. Everyone here is an elite handpicked by the school from the new students. The dancers are the future of Mavu. Join this special training class. The school will reward each participant with 10 academic points. Following that, we will select both official members and reserves. Moreover, there will be other valuable rewards as well. Fuang Bin pondered. So, even in this special training class, there's no guarantee of competing. Isn't that like earning 10 free points? Even if it's just a little, it could be exchanged for a precious elixir. It would be a waste not to take it. Duong Fong continued. Now, as usual, we will choose a class leader. This individual will regularly assist the teachers, inform the students to gather, and handle various tasks. Of course, this effort will not go unrewarded. Additional academic points will be granted by the teachers. Fuang Bin sighed. Only a few points from the teachers? How stingy. Who would waste their time on trivial chores? Lu Fuang Nuok chuckled softly. Being able to be the class leader is only natural, if one is strong enough. Defeating a few classmates to make them handle the chores is quite beneficial. Wouldn't you agree? Nearby? Duong Tang caught this and felt his forehead twitch slightly. Lu Fuang Nuok, doesn't that sound like the words of a teacher? I'm merely speaking the truth. Now, that might just ignite the motivation within everyone. In my opinion, it still lacks something. With everyone's progress, strength will continuously evolve. Instantly, he flashed a radiant smile. Then, let's change the class leader every 2 weeks. Shall we? Each time someone new takes over, they will earn credits. What do you think? He even winked at Fuang Bin. Why not give me a like while you're at it? Fuang Bin felt a stir of gratitude. The teacher is genuinely trying to benefit me. Immediately, he chuckled to himself. With 3 months until the exchange competition, they could change class leaders up to 6 times. Thus, it is possible to earn 60 credits, a substantial figure indeed. The other teachers do not seem very pleased. Isn't this a bit too chaotic? How can things be so arbitrary? Lu Fuang Nuok stifles a yawn. What's wrong with encouraging their progress? Why don't you ask if they want to? At this moment, all the students are eager to test their mettle. The enthusiasm of the students has truly been ignited. Clearing his throat, Duong Fong announces, "Alright, let's follow Teacher Lu's suggestion. Anyone who wishes to run for class president. Now is the time." Before Duong Fong can finish, Lu Fuang Nuok interjects loudly. "Don't waste time on trivial matters. Fuang Bin, Tru Loi, Duong Human, you 3 step forward." The trio immediately steps up. Lu Fuang Nuok explains, "The 2 students under Teacher Duong possess remarkable abilities. This is clear to all." As for Fuang Bin, his performance at the Division Academy and in the competitions has also been excellent. These 3 will be the candidates for class president. Does anyone have any objections? After a brief discussion, the students voice no dissent. Lu Fuang Nuok turns to Duong Tang. Then it's decided. If any of them win, they will be the class president. If they lose, they will perform menial tasks for free. The tension hangs thick in the air, crackling like flour over fire, enveloping the 3 contenders. At this moment, Tru Loi is the first to step forward, clenching his right fist. "I'll face Fuang Bin first." As the top newcomer upon enrollment, Tru Loi feels a lingering resentment for being bested by Fuang Bin at the Division Academy. He still harbors a grudge from that encounter. He claims he conceded last time, but this time, he is determined to defeat Fuang Bin. Fuang Bin smiles. "Let's make a deal. If you lose, you'll work for me without pay. If I lose, I'll do the same." Under the guidance of Ma Vu in a special training class, Fuang Bin easily overpowers Tru Loi, the top newcomer, and smoothly ascends to the role of class president. Just moments ago, Lu Fuang Nuok had called upon Fuang Bin, Tru Loi, and Duong Human as candidates for class president. Tru Loi was the first to challenge Fuang Bin. As his words hung in the air, Fuang Bin suddenly leapt to the ground, swiftly launching a punch aimed at Tru Loi's face. Seeing Fuang Bin charging at him, Tru Loi thought back to the end of the Division Academy. It had been a month since he'd been rigorously training, successfully completing the task of breaking 9 bones in that time. In terms of speed, he was confident he'd win now. He aimed to reclaim his top position. With that thought, Tru Loi unleashed a punch toward Fuang Bin even faster, the air crackling with the force of it. Fuang Bin suddenly bent his body to evade the strike. He truly managed to dodge it. But wait. An ta tu do da kong ko y din dung nam dam tan kong toi. Kai nghe thay tiang catch mo kai. Fuang Bin dung mo te chong zong dat. Mo quoc da vau hop chan phi kua Tru Loi. Nung lai kong gay rot chut tun thuong now. Tru Loi ha meng kuoi lon. Bei gio toi kong kon la toi kua thoi hok vien fan non nua. Kao choyen van chua cape lai. Ti mo dam man mi tu Fuang Bin da jiang thang thou mat ga. Mao mui han ta lap tuk fun ron nu suoi. Ngay sao du. Fuang Bin nam chat ko ao kua trula. Su dung kien thuat de dao ra nung bong hin ao an. Lien tuk tan kong vau mat han. Chong bao lao. Trula da bai dan den muk nu mo con heo. Nam nua rot tren dat. Lu Fuang nu chung kien gun tuong ne. Lien thought len rang Fuang Bin van chua du tan nyan. Du vei by ko vei du doi. Nung thok chat tru la kung kong bai thuong qua nong. Duong fong luk ne du mo hoi hot. Du kong den noi mat mang. Nung voi kai mat ne. Ko la han se phi mat ka tuan moi dam lo mat ra y. Fuang Bin doi te. An mat hong vei yang tiuman. No mo nu kuoi de fan kich. Tiuman. Den luat chung ta roi. Chen van hai kong koi lo lang. Kuyen yang tiuman nen tu bo. Noi kong may bai fuang bin dam nu trula. Ti say rak roi lan. Yang tiuman nin trula nam tren dat. Mat mui bam dap. Long tran nop lo o. Mo hoi lan rin rot tren ko. Noi that su bai fuang bin dan den muk nu vei. Ti kong biat lam sao de doi din voi noi kak. Ko hoi hop hoi fuang bin. Kao kung se dan man nu vei voi min sao. Fuang bin kuoi vang. Vuong nien roi. Dung vao sak dep la mo kiu yu thuong day. Roi ki sang nin duong fong. Toi noi kong sai chu. Thay duong fong kai ko the bad dak di gat do. Thuk su vo dao kong the ko su nun te. Nghe thay min noi vei. Yang tiu man. Lo lang bai dan ton heo. Dan chap nyan so fan. Noi kong kogi bat go zay ra. Fuang bin da thuan loi tro ton lop trong lan ne. Duong fong thong bao rang buoi huan luyen se bat do tu nge mai. Den luk du se ko sap zep ku the. Vi vei. Kak hok vien lan luot roi koi. Ki buok ra koi to na thuk han. Fuang bin kong quen cam on lu fuang nu da ju min tan dung ko hoi ne. Lu fuang nu dap lai. Kao nyan ko hoi ne ma tu ve nu diem va tai nguyen kung la du tot. Noi ma vo thua trong quoc gao lu. Tai nguyen quoc jia se bai fan tan. Luke du diem so se kong de dang le nu bei gio. Hai ngoi trong ma vo va chin vo luon ko nguyen tai nguyen gap nu lan so voi kak trong vo bin thuong. Nung trong nung nam gon day. Sin vien kua hai trong dan tieng na lai thuong bai tran truok nung hok vien tu kak trong vo bin thuong nu vong kim duong. Du. Kak trong vo kak rat kong hai long voi viek fan foi tai nguyen nu vei. The prestigious schools, rich in resources, find themselves outmatched by ordinary students. They believe that the resources they receive should equate to those of two elite institutions, enabling them to cultivate many more Wang Jin Yangs. Fuang Bin felt a wave of confusion wash over him. Why'd I have the strange feeling that Mr. Wang is the true protagonist of this story? Lu Fuang Nhu continued. Moreover, recent stirrings have urged ordinary martial schools to hastily compete for resources. This competition serves as a perfect opportunity for them to showcase their might. Could it be the underground labyrinth that Mr. Wang and Tan Fuang Tian mentioned earlier? It seems an enigmatic event is on the horizon. Can you believe it? Joining the special training class requires signing a life and death pact. At that moment, the special Ma Vo training officially began. In the first lesson, the instructor Bai Nhoc Hai, exuding an ethereal grace akin to a celestial being, stepped into the room. The students gasped in astonishment. Greetings, everyone. I am Bai Nhoc Hai, your instructor at the Weaponry Academy. From today onward, I shall accompany you on this journey of discovering specialized knowledge. Before commencing the lesson, there was an important matter to address. She picked up a document from the table. This is a confidentiality agreement. It is not merely a responsibility but also a life and death pact. By participating in this special training, everything you learn and hear will be considered confidential, and must not be disclosed outside these walls. The students appeared taken aback. During the course of the mission, should you encounter risks or accidents leading to serious injuries or even death, you shall bear full responsibility, of course. If you feel apprehensive, you may choose not to sign. As long as you leave the special training class, you are free. Fuang Bin lowered his head in contemplation. Indeed, this was not a path to be taken lightly. Yet, having come this far, he could not return empty-handed. After a moment, Bai Nhoc Hai asked, "Is there anyone who wishes to leave?" In the classroom, an air of silence enveloped them. Very well. Bai Nhoc Hai smiled with satisfaction. Ma Vo students need to possess such qualities, and thus, the first lesson of the special training commenced. Bai Nhoc Hai began to lecture on the history of martial artists. Before 1921, martial artists were mere whispers in the wind. They were considered fanciful tales. In January of that year, the National Flower officially acknowledged the existence of martial artists through published articles. In the same year, the National Martial Arts Association was formed, the precursor to today's Wu Koa University. The establishment of the National Martial Arts Association stemmed from that very event. In December 1920, the most devastating earthquake in history struck, claiming millions of lives. Following that calamity, martial artists stepped into the light, heralding the dawn of a comprehensive training era. After years of refinement, the number of martial artists in the country has surged into the millions. Yet, why do martial artists maintain such privileges and high status? It can be said that society needs us. To put it another way, humanity needs us. At this moment, within the classroom, the atmosphere was suffocatingly silent. The students furrowed their brows, intently listening. Bok Nuok Hai continued, "The enemy of all humanity is the abyssal tomb. What exactly the abyssal tomb is remains shrouded in mystery. Its entrance lies deep beneath the earth. Yet the world within does not belong to this realm. When the abyssal tomb stirs, the first sensation we feel is an earthquake. Currently, there have been 22 entrances discovered in Kwok Hua alone." A student spoke up. "So, what lies inside the abyssal tomb? Are there zombies or monsters?" Bok Nuok Hai frowned and replied, "It is a complete world. Aside from the absence of modern civilization, it is populated with humans, animals, and monsters, strikingly similar to Earth. There was once an entrance to the abyssal tomb that was destroyed, and the creatures within erupted forth, leaving behind catastrophic consequences." Fuang Bin raised a hand, his eyes filled with suspicion. Why would these creatures dare to invade the surface? Has their habitat in the abyssal tomb deteriorated to such an extent? Bok Nuok Hai sighed, her expression one of helplessness. The cause of this invasion remains an enigma. The abyssal tomb is merely a term we use. In reality, it is no different from the world we inhabit. In terms of conditions, it might even be better. However, all external sources of energy, from technology to weaponry, become utterly useless upon entering the abyssal tomb. Only the vigor of a martial artist can vanquish those terrifying creatures within. Fuang Bin gazed intently at the system interface before him, a smile creeping into his heart. With sufficient assets, I could become a blood essence machine with an endless arsenal. Am I perhaps the one destined by fate to save this world? But then, Fuang Bin recalled Vong Kim Duong. Perhaps he is the true savior of this realm. He possesses remarkable abilities to cultivate so swiftly without a system. In another part of the abyssal tomb, Vong Kim Duong was dragging Tan Fuang Tian as they fled, his voice filled with rage. "Tan Fuang Tian, you truly are a fool. Why did I ever believe in your ridiculous notions? Following you only to face certain doom? I never imagined there was a ranking system among martial artists. The top of the demon warriors, while the principal is only ranked 41st. At that moment, Vong Kim Duong, with an injured Tan Fuang Tian, still struggled to escape, his mouth spewing curses. "I told you that village was vast, there would surely be masters there. You didn't believe me, but I saw an energy vein as large as a fist. If we capture it, we will strike it rich," Tan Fuang Tian stammered, her excitement palpable. Vong Kim Duong furrowed his brows in contemplation. The abyssal tomb on this side shows signs of disturbance. Many villages have been abandoned. People must have fled to the entrance of the abyssal tomb. If this situation continues, we too may have to face dreadful things. Within the depths of the abyss, countless masters dwell. We need not fret over those foolish mortals. If the situation truly mirrors that of Tian Nan, then the leader will inevitably seal the main entrance. At that point, we shall be left to await our demise within the abyss. In that fleeting moment, Wang Jinyang couldn't help but recall a haunting memory. "Master, the chairman wouldn't want you to risk your life for him. Enough of this talk. Not being able to care for you all weighs heavily on my conscience. The leader will swiftly seal the exit. If we do not leave now, it may soon be too late. Jin Yang, if I cannot return, please take good care of Ni. Wang Jin Yang felt an overwhelming sense of guilt. Currently, the abyss in Tian Nan had been sealed, and he had no knowledge of his master's fate within. It was all due to my own weakness. Even if I could enter now, I wouldn't be able to delve deeper alone, let alone seek out my master." Suddenly, Tan Song Qing spoke up. "Perhaps next time we should bring along Feng Bing. He has made astonishing progress. Moreover, he is quite cunning. The three of us together will surely encounter no difficulties." Feng Bing then activated the microphone and said, "Let's not forget. He only possesses a grade 3 capability. He isn't yet qualified to enter the abyss. Might we be taking him there just to serve as bait for the abyss's monsters?" Tan Fuang Tian was momentarily taken aback, responding with a hint of embarrassment. "That's true, that boy has advanced too quickly. And I had forgotten he isn't qualified yet." Pausing for a moment, Tan Fuang Tian suddenly sighed. "Sometimes I think, if this world were free of those beings and monsters, it would surely be a wonderful place. Perhaps it would even be more beautiful than our own world." Wang Jinyang scoffed. "Then why not try marrying one of those abyss creatures and see if they would accept you?" over there. Within the martial arts practice hall, Lu Wei Quan was passionately demonstrating techniques to the special training class. As class monitor, Feng Bing had become the prime candidate for the demonstration. Consequently, he endured a brutal beating, ultimately being knocked to the ground. Lu Wei Quan retracted his staff and asked everyone if they had seen clearly. Some students loudly affirmed that they had not. They requested the teacher to perform the demonstration once more. Meanwhile, Feng Bing's face had swollen to the hue of a ripe tomato. Looking as though he might burst into tears. Returning to the ranks, Tang Feng mocked. Being class monitor isn't as easy as it seems. If the other teachers request you to demonstrate, you might just get beaten to a pulp. Say one more word, and I'll knock you out right here. Yet, just as Tang Feng had predicted, during Master Dong's spell casting class and Master Chu Shi Bing's martial arts session, Feng Bing was once again painfully battered while demonstrating, drawing merciless ridicule from the entire class. Finally, the practical session arrived, and Feng Bing could no longer contain his excitement. The one who laughed the loudest just now stepped forward. After class, each student received the internal ranking of dancers. I can't believe our principal ranked 41st. Duong Fong could hardly believe his eyes and exclaimed. Beside him, Tru Tuyat Mai explained, the online rankings only record the dancers known to the public, but this ranking includes armies, the inspection bureau, and the historical preservation team, among others. The principal securing the 41st spot is an extraordinary achievement. I wonder if Mr. Wang is on the list, Fuang Bin said eagerly as he flipped through the documents. Mr. Wang is only ranked 27th, while the rest are stuck on the last page. Fuang Bin couldn't help but marvel. It turned out that criticizing Mr. Wang was merely the tip of the iceberg in this world of dancers. Yet, this also served as a testament to the authority of this ranking. Some people lifted their heads toward the sky, dreaming that one day they too could be on this list. How glorious that would be. The plan to travel to Dai Li turned out to be just a one-day excursion to a graveyard. Master, how could you treat me this way? Recently, Lu Fong Nhuo had summoned Fuang Bin and Tru Tuyat Mai to his room. His face marked by the scars of battle. I've just returned from the underworld, everything there has temporarily settled. Fuang Bin anxiously asked, is it safe now? Lu Fong Nhuo shook his head. A grave expression etched on his face. Although this wave of attacks has been dealt with, incursions from creatures at the gates of the underworld are becoming increasingly frequent. Soon, the demand for resources will surge dramatically. The school will also begin to heighten the difficulty of your training. Tonight, pack your things and take a 2-day leave. I'll take you all out for a trip. Fuang Bin immediately broke into a cold sweat. You're not planning to take us to the underworld, are you? Tru Tuyat Mai, on the other hand, couldn't hide her excitement. Even if we go to the underworld, I will give it my all. Lu Fong Nhuo shot a glare at the two, his tone dripping with sarcasm. With your skills, you dare dream of the underworld? Isn't that just asking for death? Fuang Bin let out a sigh of relief. Glad to know it wasn't him. Suddenly, Lu Fong Nhuo raised Fuang Bin's chin with his finger, teasingly asking, do you remember what you promised? If you win in the competition, I'll give you a great gift. Fuang Bin instantly flushed, his heart racing. The next day, the roar of engines echoed loudly. A luxurious car glided to a stop before Fuang Bin and Tru Tuyat Mai. Fuang Bin's eyes widened, unable to utter a word in his excitement, merely leaning against the vehicle and caressing it. Is this the great gift you have for me? It's absolutely amazing. Stop daydreaming and get in. Lu Fong Nhuo led them to the outskirts of Mavu. The car halted in front of a house, where 2 guards stood watch. Entry fee is 10,000 per person. Lu Fong Nhuo casually tossed a card. The two looked around with suspicion. Isn't this just an ordinary courtyard in the countryside? Why is there an entry fee? Fuang Bin wondered to himself. What exactly does the master want to gift me? Lu Fong Nhuo stepped forward to open the door, and a cacophony of noise immediately rushed into their ears. Kill him, kill him. The soundproofing of this room was remarkable. It turned out to be an underground arena. On the fighting floor, an artist had just lost 2 front teeth from a single punch, and his opponent launched another strike, shattering his skull, ending the encounter instantly. Witnessing this gruesome scene, Zhou Shui Mai nearly retched. Lu Feng Ruo said coldly, if you can't handle it, step outside. You won't be allowed to participate again. Zhou Shui Mai struggled to suppress her nausea, determined to assert that she was fine. A man adorned with a gold chain approached with an enthusiastic expression. Oh, what winds have blown this city's tempest here? Truly an honor. Enough nonsense. Arrange for him to be taken to the cold room. Lu Feng Ruo pointed at Fuang Bin. No problem. Take him to the cold room. Leave him there alone. The man's demeanor suggested ill intentions. Fuang Bin felt as if 1,000 horses were thundering through his mind. Didn't you say you would give me a grand gift? Lu Feng Ruo beamed. Indeed, this is the surprise gift. A day of thrilling exploration in the cold room. Fuang Bin felt as though he had awakened from a trance. It seems I have made a colossal mistake. In the surveillance room, whispers began to echo. Previously, a few senior students came here to test their mettle. And the results were devastating. They were so terrified that they couldn't contain themselves. I really don't understand why they support those from Wu University. Each one is thrown into the arena. Only 2 perish like birds. I'm certain he'll last only 30 minutes. I bet he'll be gone in just 10. Creak. A feeble light bulb on the ceiling flickered as if it might die. Fuang Bin stepped into the cold room alone. A black and white TV crackled to life, emitting a sound reminiscent of hissing. Is it really necessary to play horror films to enhance the atmosphere? And at that moment, a corpse with open eyes stared back at him. It's unbelievable that he died without closing his eyes. Fuang Bin approached, gently closing the man's eyes, murmuring, "Luck and longevity. Luck and longevity. He's just a corpse, it's not like I killed him." He then began to inspect the area surrounding the body. The right hand was formidable, with strong bones, likely having completed the arm's skeletal structure. The left hand seemed unfinished, only about 35 to 45 fragile bones. He then bent down to feel the corpse's neck. Perhaps he died from a powerful punch that broke his neck. After examining, Fuang Bin stood upright. Perhaps I should check out 2 more corpses for further observation. Just as Fuang Bin pondered this, 3 corpses suddenly surged to life. Fuang Bin's eyes widened. Not wanting to die is quite a strong motivation, isn't it? Then, let me organize a regular match. A regular match would not lead to death. At that moment, while Fuang Bin was observing the corpse in the cold room, the 3 corpses unexpectedly lunged behind him. So, they're zombies? Toi Nien, An Kong Sui Gi Nu, Lap Tuk Ki Noi Da Moku, Ba Zak Chet Lap Tuk Bei Ra, Va Vao Tuong Doi Din, Luke Ne, Fuang Bin Nyan Ra Mo Soi De Tu Zak Chet Roi Zong, Va Cam Thay That Non Gom. Surely, Lu Feng Nuoc has commanded them to stage this. With a gentle touch, Fuang Bin lifted the lifeless body and placed it upon the arena floor. The battle raged on, undeterred. He then assisted in hoisting another corpse. 3 figures uniting to deposit the remains into a body bag. The 2 whispered, "He's not as simple as he appears." His manner of lifting the bodies shows no hint of fear. Moreover, after being so threatened moments ago, he remains unfazed. Impossible, unless he has already witnessed blood. Gazing at the corpse within the bag, Fuang Bin silently lamented. Martial artists without lineage or clan must rely on fighting in the shadows to seize resources. Those without the strength to survive are no better than ordinary folk. That night, Lu Feng Nuoc led the 2 to an opulent Western restaurant. Staring at the bloody steak before her, Tru Tuyat Mai felt a wave of nausea wash over her. Lu Feng Nuoc spoke nonchalantly. "A little vomit and you'll get used to it." Get used to what? We just witnessed a gruesome scene. And now we are served bloody steak. There's definitely some ulterior motive. Fuang Bin couldn't help but smirk inwardly. Lu Feng Nuoc continued to elaborate. If you descend into the underworld, you'll only find dried goods or raw food. If you locate an energy mine, you might manage to cook food, but it will never compare to exchanging it for precious elixirs. Then, Lu Feng Nuoc locked eyes with Fuang Bin. What does it feel like to scavenge corpses all day? Fuang Bin pondered for a moment before sighing. Being a martial artist is not at all like what ordinary people imagine. Indeed, have you ever thought about life and death? Life and death can help you accumulate combat experience. A sudden sweat broke out on Fuang Bin's brow. How surprising. Tru Tuyat Mai immediately raised her hand. I want to join too. Lu Feng Nuoc shot her a glance, then replied, "No, you are still too weak." Tru Tuyat Mai, indignant, retorted, "I'm not weak. I have 40 thin bones and no basic fighting. Those who just faced life and death don't scare me," Lu Feng Nuoc calmly countered. "Whether you're scared or not is irrelevant. The essential truth is, you have never truly encountered blood. I can do it." With that declaration, Tru Tuyat Mai frantically stuffed the steak into her mouth, desperately trying to keep from retching. But ultimately, she could bear it no longer and rushed to the restroom. Fuang Bin found it all perplexing. "Why is Tru Tuyat Mai so enthusiastic?" Lu Feng Nuoc explained. Tuyat Mai's father was among the poorest, having sacrificed himself in the underworld war. Now, Various factions are vying for the assets he left behind. Without strength, she cannot protect her inheritance. Thus, she yearns for power. Lu Feng Nuoc turned to Fuang Bin, saying, "They are nothing like you." Lacking the motivation, a jolt coursed through Fuang Bin's heart as he quickly defended himself. "I have motivation too." Indeed, the desire to avoid death is a form of motivation. "What do you mean by that?" Lu Feng Nuoc leaned on his chin, smirking. "If you're too afraid to step into a life or death battle, how about trying a regular fight instead?" Fuang Bin felt a sense of helplessness. "Since you've said it, I have no choice but to comply." In the underground arena, the uproar was relentless. The arena owner chuckled at Fuang Bin. "Don't worry, kid, a regular match is relatively safe, no one will intentionally harm you." "Boss, I just want to know, is there a reward for winning?" The owner paused. 50,000 per match. It may not be much, but you can place bets." The owner then whispered to Fuang Bin, "The opponent your teacher chose is a seasoned fighter. The odds are 3-1. Fuang Bin's eyes lit up. "Then I bet 1 million on myself. I'll wager 5 million on my teacher. If I lose, he has to compensate me." Lu Feng Nuoc yawned, and Fuang Bin felt a wave of despair wash over him. "This guy is treating my life like a gamble." Just then, True Tuyat Mai appeared. "I'll bet 1 million on you. Give it your all." Fuang Bin. Instantly, Fuang Bin felt as if he might spit out blood. As the announcer's voice boomed, "Welcome, beautiful boys and girls. Good evening. Now, let the two sides step onto the stage." The entire hall erupted, and Fuang Bin had no choice but to dive into this thrilling underground conflict. "Come forth, and witness the Tao King unleash his ultimate move." At that moment, Fuang Bin stood on the fighting platform, while the announcer proclaimed, "Let's welcome the Boxing King, an exceptional dancer." No sooner had he spoken than a man with a distinctive scar stepped forward. Radiating a powerful aura, Tao King, the audience erupted in excitement. Chanting his name, the announcer continued, "And here's a brave newcomer, the mid-tier Tao King." Fuang Bin smiled and waved at the audience, only to be met with a shocking gesture in return. True Tuyat Mai stood beside him, stifling a laugh as she said, "Tao King? What a silly name, and he doesn't even use a sword." Lu Feng Nuoc found the name quite impressive. Fuang Bin is deliberately trying to create an impression to mislead his opponent. Lu Feng Nuoc explained to True Tuyat Mai, "For example, Loi Suyen excels with firearms, but he can also teach you to use various weapons. Duang Su too is formidable, yet his weapon skills are equally exceptional. If one believes Loi Suyen has no gun, wouldn't Duang Su too be underestimated? Thus, the opponent won't foresee how they will fail." He then turned to True Tuyat Mai. "Take note, when facing an adversary, don't fixate solely on their nickname." True Tuyat Mai promptly pulled out her notebook to jot down his advice. On the fighting platform, Fuang Bin continued to unleash his strength, beginning with a feigned weakness. As he completed the motion, Dao Vong roared, "Stop talking." With just a thunderous bang, the battle officially commenced, and Dao Vong had yet to react. Fuang Bin surged forward, closing the distance in an instant. A fierce kick followed, his foot colliding squarely with the opponent's face. He Mian, caught off guard, raised his hand to block, but in a fleeting moment of negligence, he allowed this young man to seize the upper hand. Fuang Bin wouldn't grant He Mian a moment to breathe. He pressed on with relentless aggression. He Mian could do nothing but defend himself, thinking to himself that this young man was no ordinary foe. Below, the crowd erupted in cheers. "Fight back. He Mian, don't hold back just because your opponent is a rookie." Suddenly, Fuang Bin bent low, declaring, "Watch my foot." He Mian, startled, hastily lowered his right hand. Yet, to his surprise, Fuang Bin unleashed an uppercut that struck him squarely on the jaw. He Mian spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, his left foot retreating a step to regain his balance. Just as he steadied himself, Fuang Bin swiftly followed up with a powerful punch aimed at his face. In that tense moment, He Mian could only raise his hand in defense. The surge of energy flooded into Fuang Bin's right leg with blinding speed. Instantly, a mighty kick propelled forth. "I surrender," He Mian shouted in a panic. Fuang Bin halted beside his head, and a sound like thunder echoed through the air. He Mian knelt on the ground, his voice filled with pride. "I have lost." Fuang Bin clasped his hands and bowed his head, demonstrating humility. In that instant, the atmosphere turned as quiet as a whisper. The audience below widened their eyes, unable to believe what they were witnessing. True Tuyat Mai held her arms tightly across her chest, unable to contain her astonishment. Within moments, the arena erupted in cheers. the strongest. Lu Fuang Nhu observed the scene with calm detachment. In less than a minute of combat, Fuang Bin had showcased overwhelming power. It seemed that the time for the mission had finally arrived. Fuang Bin was appointed as the team leader. He declared, "You are free to act as you wish." Not long after, having defeated He Mian, Fuang Bin approached the prize counter to claim his reward. A man presented a box, saying, "Here is 3,050,000. If there are any issues, we take no responsibility. Make sure to check it carefully." As Fuang Bin touched the box, a ting sound rang out, signaling from the system that the value of his assets had increased. Gazing at the interface before him, Fuang Bin smiled with satisfaction. To earn so much in just a minute is truly remarkable. Suddenly, another notification chimed, indicating that the value of his assets had surpassed 10 million, and the system level was upgraded. Immediately, the system interface shattered and restructured, successfully upgrading itself. Reconnection established. Simultaneously, a few words appeared on the interface. New feature unlocked, fragile bones. Fuang Bin contemplated. Henceforth he could utilize the fragile bones feature from the system. Typically, this process was quite complex. Yet, this path is fraught with peril. Nevertheless, let us take a leap of faith. Fuang Bin immediately focused his mind, awakening the brittle bones within him. The blood and energy swirling around him roared like a tempest. In the blink of an eye, an alert from the system echoed through the air. Bone strengthening successful. Fuang Bin felt a surge of exhilaration as he sensed the transformation coursing through his body. Truly experiencing the power rising within him, the process of strengthening his bones was completed in an instant. At this rate, I will soon reach the pinnacle of level 3. Just then, another alert rang out, consumed 100,000 asset points. Fuang Bin immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Just 1% of a single bone cost 10,000. If this is the case, not to mention reaching level 3, merely attaining the peak of level 1 would require at least 1 million. Tears streamed down his face, carving a path of despair. Indeed, nothing in this world comes without a price. That night, Lu Fuang Nhu drove them back to Mavu. At the mission briefing area of the Mavu Logistics Department, all members of the special training class had gathered in full force. Duong Tang declared, "Your mission privileges have been activated. For the next month, you can accept missions here." The students buzzed with excitement. "This is incredible. Finally, we have a chance to undertake missions." Fuang Bin smiled faintly. "Truly wonderful. Another way to accumulate asset points." Suddenly, a booming voice broke through the chatter. "What are you all clamoring about? After a month of special training, you still dare to be so lazy?" It turns out, Headmaster Hoang Tin had arrived. He stepped forward, his gaze stern. "Currently, the situation in the underworld is exceedingly tense. The demand for powerful individuals is ever increasing, while the resources for training are becoming scarce. You must triumph in the exchange tournament. Only then can the school ensure sufficient resources in order to cultivate even more powerful warriors. So, all of you must give your utmost effort. Do you understand?" The students immediately stood tall, a fierce determination igniting within them. Duong Tang continued, "Next, you will be divided into 5 teams. Each team will be led by a trainer. The team that completes the most missions will receive an additional 100 credits. Moreover, the 10 most talented among you will represent Mavu in the upcoming exchange tournament." Without delay, he loudly called out the names of Fuang Bin, Tru Loi, Fu Trong Din, Duong Tiuman, and Tran Van Hai. These 5, each possessing extraordinary strength, were chosen to be team captains, each leading their own squad. Keep your eyes on the grouping list. Fuang Bin's team includes Tru Tuyat Mai and Duong Tung Neok, 2 shining stars of the special training class, along with the bottom 3, Trong Hao, Trong Bin, and Lu Dai Tan. Fuang Bin furrowed his brow, sensing something amiss. Aside from Tru Tuyat Mai and Duong Tung Neok, the other 3 possess only feeble strength. Is this arrangement truly a challenge set before me? Just then, Fu Trong Din rushed over, patting Fuang Bin on the shoulder, and said, "Why the long face? I've heard this was to balance the strength of the teams. This decision was made long ago." Standing before Fuang Bin, Chu the Bin confidently proclaimed, "I am your coach during this mission. The mission will be decided by the captain. My only responsibility is to ensure your safe return." Disagreements arose the moment the team was formed. With unwavering confidence, Fuang Bin declared, "I am the captain. I make the decisions. Anyone who dares to disagree, step forward for a duel." Earlier, Chu the Bin had mentioned that the captain would decide the mission. He would merely ensure the safety of the team members. As for everything else, he would not interfere. so do not seek his counsel. Fuang Bin pondered whether the elder's indifferent demeanor was an attempt at fairness, suggesting that a teacher should not lead their students. Chu the Bin appeared older. And moreover, in the realm of Ma Vu, martial techniques were not commonly practiced, so his students were few. Yet their strength remained reliable. Fuang Bin pressed the screen of the terminal, accessing the mission system. The missions were divided into 4 main categories: military missions, identification missions, police missions, and school missions. Military missions posed the greatest challenges, followed by police missions, with school missions trailing behind. The nature of school missions was not necessarily easy or hard. Gazing at the task list before him, Fuang Bin contemplated the importance of selecting the right mission. 1 month truly felt too short. The other teams were surely racing to hunt down missions with the highest success rates. The key here was to weigh time, difficulty, and rewards. Nevertheless, first and foremost, it would be wise to start with simpler tasks. That was a decision that could not go wrong. No longer hesitating, Fuang Bin immediately tapped the screen to accept the mission: capture a level 1 criminal. Seeing Fuang Bin choose such a light mission, Duong Tung Neok could not help but express his dissatisfaction. Is that all? Only a level 1 mission? We're not that weak. There's no need to be so timid. Our performance will determine our selection for exchanges. With such meager rewards, divided among everyone, there will be nothing left. We should at least take on a level 2 mission. Fuang Bin shot him a cold glance. Have you ever faced a level 2 fighter? Duong Tung Neok stammered. Well, not exactly. Then where does this confidence stem from? This isn't a competition. Criminals can strike at any moment. If anyone is attacked, someone may pay with their life. Even if you don't care about your life, a casualty would only increase the difficulty of our next mission. Tang Tung Nhac frowned, displeased. It's not that serious. We have our teacher with us, don't we? Chu the Bin remained silent. Fuang Bin cast a glance at the tight-lipped Chu the Bin before shifting his gaze to the others. I am the captain, and I will make the decisions. For the next month, you all must follow my orders. I have no intention of playing democratic voting games with you. If anyone is dissatisfied, come at me one-on-one. Tang Tung Nhac smirked, feeling defiant yet saying nothing further. Fuang Bin examined the mission description and declared, our target this time is a man named Lam Kam. According to the documents, he was last seen in the North Dane area. He has a severe gambling problem, so our plan is to search the underground casinos in North Dane. Zhao Shui Mai interjected, but there are too many casinos in North Dane. What if we don't find him? Fuang Bin replied. We have 3 days to complete our task. If we fail to find him, we'll incur a penalty of 10% from our reward. Everyone prepare for an hour. Then we set off. With that, he turned and walked away. Watching Fuang Bin's retreating figure, Tang Tung Nhac and Zhang Hao murmured, such a meager reward, it hardly seems worth the trouble to search. Truly cowardly. There's no other way, it's his role as captain. Looks like we're destined to come in last. The unspoken rules of Ma Vu dictate an exchange of equality, fairness, and coldness. At this moment, Fuang Bin's team arrived at an underground casino in the North Dane area. Li Fuang Bin commanded through the earpiece, first, let's split into groups to search. If you spot the target, do not act impulsively, contact the other teams. We will only act after regrouping. Zhao Shui Mai reported, we're in the main hall, and we haven't spotted the target yet. Zhang Bin cleared his throat. The smell of cigarettes here is overwhelming. Team B is ready. We're at the back entrance. But it seems they might have spotted us. Several voices crackled through the earpiece. We're just students, we don't have experience like this. Even with disguises, it's still too easy to be recognized. Fuang Bin reassured them, just stay quiet, and everything will be fine. The worst we'll face is a bit of questioning. He sighed. Truly, stepping into real combat, everyone is a bit panicked. Our experience is far too limited. Fuang Bin turned and spotted Chu the Bin standing in a shadowy corner. As he had stated, he was merely an observer, gazing at the cold, indifferent expression on Chu the Bin's face. Fuang Bin pondered, in the event of an emergency, would he truly lend a hand? I'm not so sure. At least until the team is decimated, he will not intervene, for the death of the students is precisely what Ma Vu awaits. The reason behind this is simple, it is a fair exchange. Despite the emphasis on life and death for the new students, in the end, it remains merely a lesson. Danger and death are but vague concepts. Yet, when death looms nearby, everything changes. The lives of a few weak students will be sacrificed for the awakening of the entire elite class. That is truly a bargain. Why allow the new students to participate in the exchange tournament instead of the stronger third-year students? Because the new students are weak. their deaths would not be a significant loss. On the contrary, if the new students shine in the tournament, they will catch the school's attention, making the endeavor entirely worthwhile. A fair exchange, yet so cold. This is the reality of Ma Vu. At this moment, the voice of Mok Lee reverberates. Captain, the position has been determined. We have located the target. Fuang Bin immediately springs into action, following closely behind Mok Lee. The other teams also swiftly move toward the designated area. We must wait for everyone to gather before taking action. But Duong Tun Yen has already rushed ahead. Fuang Bin is a reasonable captain, yet it seems he is a bit too cautious. Then let's stir up some trouble for him. At that moment, Duong Tun Yen has spotted the mission target. However, he disregards the orders and acts on his own. By the time Fuang Bin and the others arrive, Thach Lam Khan has already been defeated by Duong Tun Yen. Duong Tun Yen complains, "It took too long to earn 120.000 in rewards. The learning points aren't worth much either. I told you so. With our strength, we should have taken on a more difficult task." Fuang Bin replies coldly, "I've already said we must wait for everyone to gather before we act." Duong Tun Yen retorts, "This person isn't strong, I could handle him alone. There's no need to wait. Moreover, if the target escapes, who will take responsibility? Just because you are the captain doesn't mean you can waste everyone's time." This time, Tru Tuyat Mai is dissatisfied and shouts angrily, "Duong Tun Yen, what do you mean by that? If Fuang Bin hadn't predicted the target's position, how could you have captured him so quickly?" Several other members also step forward to defend Duong Tun Yen. "We put in a lot of effort for this mission. In the end, we hardly get to share the rewards. How can you say such things? Fuang Bin acts for everyone's safety. You wouldn't want any surprises that could put you in danger. Would you? If you are too afraid of death, how can you become a dancer?" Duong Tun Yen rises with fervor, his tone filled with defiance. "Captain Fuang, remember that we are students of Ma Vu, true dancers, not mere survivors." Fuang Bin's cold gaze meets Duong Tun Yen's, as if challenging him. "If you are dissatisfied, you may leave now. I will request another meal for you from the school. Anyone else wishing to depart, follow Duong Tun Yen." Duong Tun Yen clenched his jaw, silently cursing within. How infuriating. If it weren't for the fact that this man has slain two high-ranking individuals, I wouldn't have to hold myself back like this. I've wanted to teach him a lesson for a long time. Observing the smug expressions of the group, the brow of Fuang Bin furrowed slightly. This first mission was far too simple, leading everyone to become overly confident. If this continues, it won't end well. In the office of Principal Ma Vu, Hoang Gun was listening to reports from the instructors. Tran Van Hai seems ill-suited to be the team leader, he lacks decisiveness. Vice Zhang Din, however, appears quite competent, adept at managing team dynamics, always considering others' opinions when assigned tasks. Zhao Loi stands out, taking on the more challenging missions. Duong Tiu Man is passable for now. Fuang Bin seems quite stable, a reasonable choice for team leader, but he appears overly cautious. Hoang Gun remarked, "Let's observe Fuang Bin a bit longer. He seems quite capable, doesn't he? For the next mission, let's create a bit of trouble for him. I want to see how he handles a significant crisis. Will he flee for help, betray his teammates, or fight to the bitter end? There's much to consider in training an exceptional individual." The group of Fuang Bin returned to the mission assignment area. Chu the Bin announced, "In this mission, Duong Tun Yen claims 25% of the reward. The two who identified the target will share another 25%. The remaining 7 will collectively share 50%. Lu Daitan grumbled. So, in this mission, everyone's efforts were in vain. Just then, Duong Tun Yen stepped forward, saying, "It's all right. We will take on a higher-level mission next time. That way, everyone will gain more." He cast a confident glance at Fuang Bin. "Am I right? Team leader Fuang?" Fuang Bin lowered his head, remaining silent. Duong Tun Yen moved toward the terminal. "This time, we will choose our mission." The mission details appeared. The target was a peak-level Class 1 individual, with high danger and a reward of 15 learning points. Looking at the mission description, the group erupted into lively discussion. This mission seems quite solid. The learning points surpass those of similar missions. With 10 of us working together, taking down a peak-level Class 1 individual shouldn't be too hard. Let's choose him. Fuang Bin glanced at the mission board, his brow slightly furrowing. The reward was exceptionally high compared to other similar missions. Was this Class 1 fugitive truly worth it? Why was it necessary to combine the strength of 3 peak-level Class 1 individuals? A bead of cold sweat trickled down Fuang Bin's cheek, igniting his suspicions. This mission undoubtedly harbored something sinister. He quickly cast a glance at Chu the Bin, the instructor who must have sensed the abnormality yet remained silent. Was he testing their faith in this mission? Could it be that he is deliberately pushing us into trouble? Fuang Bin spoke up. This mission is acceptable, but I must emphasize one thing. With such a colossal reward, this target is certainly not someone to be underestimated.